Welcome back, my fourth graders. Today's lesson is 6.2, factors and divisibility. Okay, now our target is to use division to find factor pairs. All right, since we know factors are what? Two numbers, right? When you multiply. Okay, so for example, 3 times 5 is 15. 3 is a factor, and 5 is another factor, and together, when you tell both, we call it what? Factors. Right? And then the answer is what? Product. So in the other hand, if you can divide this 15 by 3, you can find what? 5 as a quotient. So these three numbers are fact families. So fact family, which is what? 3, 5, 15. They are all related. Okay? And also you can say what? 5, okay, 15 divided by 5 is also what? 3, which is the quotient. You see? 3, 5, 15. 3, 5, like 5, 3, 15. All related. Okay? Even here, 5 times 3 is what? Also 15. That means what? Yes, to find a factor, okay, to find a factor, you can always divide. Make sense? Because you know already the 3 and factors, let's say factors of 15 is what? 1 and 15, of course we know. And then what about 3? Yes, we know when you divide this 15 by 3, you get what? 5. That's the factor. Okay, so we are factoring it now. So we can find the factors by dividing. All right, so it's really important to know that number can divide by certain number, certain factor. Okay, that's we call divisibility. Okay, so if that dividend, which is the product, let's say, okay, so that product is able to be divided by on one number, the factor. Is that the factor? That's why we call it factoring. Okay, is that factor or not? All right, so let's dive into our example and then let's go ahead. List any 10 multiples of 3, and what do you notice about the sum of the digits in each multiple? All right, let's write down the 10 multiples of 3. So now we can say what? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. Okay, so they were asking, can you notify anything about the sum of the digits? What that means? That means what? When you add these two digits, okay, in one number, which is 12, when you add 1 plus 2, you can get what? 3. And this is what? 6. 9. This is going to be 3, 6, 9, 3. Can you see the pattern? 3, 6, 9, and let me make it clear. Hold on. Okay. And this is what? 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. It's going to come up with what? 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. That's the pattern. And that's the what? The sum of the digits in each multiple is what? Divisible by 3. Okay, you see that? 3 can divide by 3, 6 can divide by 3, 9 can divide by 3. So this is divisible by 3. Okay, the sum of the digits in each multiple is divisible by 3. Okay, now let's move on. List any 10 multiples of 9. Okay, so we know this. 9, I'm going to tell you. 9, 8, 7, count down, right? Once, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? And then 10th digit, you need to count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start from 0, of course, right? Okay. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now, same thing. What do you notice about the sum of the digits in each multiple? Let's go ahead. This is what? 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, and 9. What do you notice? Yes, the sum of digits is what? Divisible by 9. Okay, how can you use observations above to determine whether 3 and 9 are factors of a given number? Explain. Okay, so given number means what? Unknown number, okay, random number. So find the sum of the digits of the given number, which is unknown number. Okay, let's find the sum of the digits, okay? And then if the sum is divisible by 9, then 3 and 9 are factors of the given number, of course, because 9 is what? Yeah, 9 is the multiples of 3. So if the sum, I'm going to write it down. If the sum is divisible by 9, then 3 and 9, let me move up a little bit in case you cannot see. 9 are factors of the given number. Okay, remember 9 is what? Multiples of 3. Okay? Alright, so let's move on. A number is divisible by another number when the quotient is a whole number and the remainder is 0. So if any remainder is there, so if you have any cookies for Mr. Lee, that doesn't mean that number is the factor of the number, given number, okay? So divisible means what? You shouldn't have any leftover, okay, cookies. So some numbers have divisibility rules that you can use to determine whether they are factors of other numbers. You don't have to memorize this one, okay? It's important. It's gonna make you easier to solve the problem, but you know what? You don't have to memorize this all together. Like, you are going to understand, okay? You need to understand that. That's it, okay? So divisor is 2, the number is even. That's the divisibility rule, okay? So the rule is what? The number is even. Of course, all even numbers can be divided by 2. And the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So for example, let's say 12, okay, is divided by 3, is divisible. Let's see, when you add these two digits, you are going to have 3, which is what? Yes, divisible by 3. Okay, and 5, what about 5? Yeah, the ones digit is 0 or 5. Of course, multiples of 5s are what? 0, 10s, 0, 10. Okay, I mean, tens and fives, right? Okay, the number is even. That's the divisibility rule for 6, okay? The number is even and divisible by 3. Okay, even numbers and divisible by 3. All right, the sum number, the divisibility rule of 9 is what? The sum of the digits is divisible by 9. We did it before, right? So all the multiples of 9, when you add the digits, the sum of digits are what? Only 9. Okay, and okay, the rule number 10 is what? The ones digit is 0. We all know this one. This is easy, and we know this one, right? So all you need to practice, all you need to take a look at is what? 3, 6, 9. Make sense? 9, the sum of the digits is divisible by 9, okay? And then 6 is what? The number is even number and divisible by 3, okay? And the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. All right? Okay, so let's take a look. Find the factor pairs for 48. Okay? A number is divisible by its factors all the time, remember. Use divisibility rules and division to find the factors of 48. Okay, divisor 1, what about it? Is the number a factor of 48? Yes, 1 is a factor of every number all the time, right? So we don't have to think about it anyway. So 1 times 48 is 48. We know that. Okay, what about 2? Is the number 2 is the number a factor of 48? Yes, because what? 48 is even number. Okay, which is what? 24, right? Okay, now number 3. What about 3 as a divisor? Is the number a factor of 48? When you add this together, 4 plus 8 is 12, which is what? Is divisible by 3. So that means what? Yes. So 3 can fit into 4 by 1, and leftover is 18. What? 3 times 6 makes 18. That's mental division, okay? All right, number 4. Is number 4 the number of factor of 48? We'll see. Yes, this is even number, and 4 can fit into 4 by 1, and here remainder 0, so they gave us our answer already. So and then what? 4 times 2 is 8, so that means yes, 4 times 12 is 48. And what about 5? The ones digit is not 0 or 5. That means what? No, you cannot divide this 48 by 5. Okay, there will be remainder. So what about 48 is even? Yes, and divisible by 3. Since we know this number is what? It can be divided by 3. Okay, so the answer is what? Yes. Okay, if the number is odd number, you don't have to think about divisibility rule for 6. Okay, even. Okay, always even. All right, now what about 7? Okay, so there is remainder here. They kindly gave us. That means what? No, because when you have a number is divisible by its factors, and then they shouldn't have any what? Remainder. Okay, remember. Now what about 4? 8 is the number of factor of 48. Yes, they gave us already here. What? Remainder 0. That means what? Yes, which is what? Oh, I forgot to write down in here. Okay, 8 times 6. Same thing, right? They just change it. All right, so the factors of 48 are what? 1 and 48. Okay, you can always go by big numbers at the end. Okay, 1 and big number at the end. And then 2 and 24, 3 and 16, 4 and 12, and 6 and 8. The factor pairs for 48 are what? Okay, now the pairs. 1 and 48, 2 and 24, 3 and 16, 4 and 12, and 6 and 8. That's it. You don't have to write 8 and 6 again. That's basically same. Commutative. Okay, whether you change the order, the product will be the same. All right, now find the factor pairs for the number 30. Okay, so now let's go ahead. 1 times 30 is what? 30. So 1 and 30 we found. And since this is what? Divisible by 2, because this is even number. 30. And then what about 3? Yes, because we know what? 2 digit. Okay, sum of 2 digits is what? 3, which is divisible by 3, which is 3 times 10 is 30. And then what about 4? No, you can't, right? And 5, yes, because it ends with what? 0 or 5. So 5 times 6 is 30. So the factor pairs are what? Yes, 1 and 30, and 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. What about 54? Okay, now let's go ahead. 1 times 54, always, right? 1 is the factor of the number, any number. And then second one, this is even number, so this can be, right, is divisible by 2. So 2 can fit into 5 by 2 times, right? And then 14 is left behind, and 2 times 7 is 14. You know that, right? You know how to do the mental division, right? Okay, if you don't know, practice, okay? All right. Now number 3. What about 3? Since this add when you add them together, it's gonna be 9, which means what? Yes, divisible by 3. That means 3 is the factor times. Okay, so 3 can fit into 5 by 1, and 24 is left over, which is what? 8 is 24. What about 4? No. 5 can't. Okay, let's see 6. Nah, okay. Oh, yes. Because you know what? 6. The number is even number and divisible by 3. You see that? Yes. So 6 times, oops. 6 times what? 9 is 54. So, what are the pairs? Yes, 1 times 4, 1 and 54, and 2 and 27, 3 and 18, and 6 and 9. Okay? All right, let's move on. Now find the factor pairs for the number. Okay, again, all right, it's gonna be easy, but I want you to pause your video and then do it yourself and come back to check your answer. Okay? If you get wrong, you know that what to do, right? You can rewind my video and then listen again. Okay? All right, 1 times 29, I know. And then what about 2? This is not even number. And when you add them together, it's gonna be 11. Okay, so this is not the, it's not divisible by 3, 4, even 5, 6, can't. Okay, so only what? 1 and 29, that's it. We call it prime number. You're gonna learn later. Okay, prime number is the number that has only 1 and itself as a factor. Okay? All right, now let's move on to number 4. 1 times 50 is 50. Yes, of course we know. Okay, and then all right, you can still hear me, right? Okay, and then 2 times, okay, 2 can fit into 5 by 2 times, and then leftover is what? Okay, 5. Okay, 5 times 2 is what? 10. Okay, what about 3? No, can't be. And then what about 4? No. 5, yes. 5 times 10 is what? 50. What about 6? No. 7? No. Okay, that's it. Okay, so only 3 pairs you can find. All right. This 63 is what? 1 times 63 is 63. So 1 and 63. What about 2? No, can't be. And this sum is what? 9, which is divisible by 3. So there you go. 3 can fit into, right? 6 by 2 and 3 by 1. So 21 is what? 63. And then this is divisible by 9, which is what? 9 times 7. So 7 times 9. I want to write down the smaller number here first, okay? Is 63. You don't have to, but you know, that's easier for me to remember, okay? Okay, those 3 are what? The pairs, okay, of factor. Okay, now 33. 1 times 33 is 33. And we know 2 can't be. And 3, this sum is what? 6, which is divisible by 3, which is 3 times 11 is 33. I think that's it. No more. Can't be 4, 5, 6. I mean, okay? All right, now 6 is what? Always divisible by 6, but it has to be even number. Okay, here 1 times 60. Okay, what I'm doing. Again, 1 times 60 is what? 60. What about 2? Yes, 2 can fit into 6 by 3 and 0. Right? And what about 3? Yes, because when you add them together, it's going to be 6, which is divisible by 3. And 20 is what? 60. And 4? Yes, because, you know, 4 can fit into 6 by 1. And then 4 times 5 is 20, so which is 60 together. And then this, since this ending with what? 0, that means what? It can be divisible by 5 and 10. So 5 and 10, I'm going to write it down. 5 times what? 12, right? Because 5 can fit into 6 by 1, and leftover is what? 10, which is 5 times 2 is 10. And 10 times 6 is what? 60. Woo! They have what? This 6 pairs. Okay, it's a lot, right? Okay, let's move on to 64. 1 times 64 is 60. Oh, 4. Sorry, 64. And since this is even number, it can be divided by 2 also without remaining anything remainder. So 2 can fit into 6 by 3, and by 4 by 2 is 64. And then when you add them together, it's gonna be 10. So it's not divisible by 3. But what about 4? Okay, 4 can fit into 6 by 1, and left over is what? 24, which is 6 times 4 is 24. Yes. What about 5? Can't be. 6? No. 7? No. 8? 8 times what? Yes, 8 is what? 64. Okay, so these are the pairs. 4 pairs. Okay, and list the factors of the number. Okay, again. Okay, this time just list the factors, but always you can find the pairs. Okay, that's easier. Okay, so 1 times 39 is 39. And then this, when you add them together, it's 12, which is divisible by 3. So which is 3 times, can fit into 1, and 3 is 39. You know what did I say? Yes, because 3 can fit into 3 by 1, and by 9 by 3. That's what I meant. Okay, and then that's it, right? No more. 4 can't be. 5 can't be. 6 no. Since this is odd number. Okay, so only 2. So which means what? You need to list the factors. So I'm gonna say 1, 3, 13, 39. Okay, least to greatest all the time. All right. 44. 1 times 44 has to be up here first, and this is even numbers, so it can be divided by 2. When you add them together, it's gonna be 8, which means 3 can't be, but 4 yes, because 4 can fit into 40 by 10, and 4 by 1, so 11. And what about 5? Oh, we know. Okay, that's it, right? So these 3 pairs. So let's list them here now. 1, 2, 4, 11, 22, 44. That's it. Now 72. Okay, now 1 times 72 is 72. And 2 times 2 can fit into 7 by 3 times, and then 12 left behind, and 2 times 6 is what? Yes, 12, so 72. What about 3? When you add them together, it's going to be 9. Yes, this is what? Divisible by 3 and 9. Okay. What about 6? Okay, yes, this is divisible by 3, and this is even number. Okay, we have a lot today. I mean, this number. 3 can fit into 7 by 2, and 12 is behind, left over, so 3 times 4 is 12, so 24 is what? 72. And what about 4? This is divisible by 4. Let's see. Okay, so 4 can fit into, 4 can fit into 7 by 1, and 32 is remainder, right? Left behind. Okay, 4 times 8, yes, is 32. So, yes. 8, okay, 4 and 18 is also. What about, 5 can't be. What about 6? Yes, divisibility rule. Remember, divisible by 3, and it's even number. So, 6 can fit into 7 by 1, and 12 left behind. 6 times 2 is 12. You see that? Okay, what about 9? Yes, when you add these 2 digits together, that's 9. So this is divisible by 9, which is what? Yes, 9 times 8 is what? 72. So these are all numbers. Let's list them out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12, 18, 24, 36, 72. Whoa. This number is rich, right? That has every number. Okay, now 67. Okay, when you add them together, it's gonna be 13, nothing. It's not divisible by 9 or 3, nothing. Okay, so let's see. 1 times 67 is 67, and anything else, this is not even number, and not divisible by 3, 6, nor 9. What about 4? No, 4, 5, nah, nothing. So the answer is what? Only 1 and 67. Poorest ever, I'm sorry. All right, now 13. 1 times 42 is what? 42. And 2, since this is even number, 2 can fit into 4 by 2 and by 1 for 2. Okay, so 42. What about this? Add them together. 6. Ooh, divisible by what? 3 and 6 for sure, right? 3 can fit into 4 by 1, and 4 times 3 is 12, so 42. And then 6, divisibility rule, right? Divisible by 3, and this is even number. So 6 times what is 42? 7 is 42. Okay, that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 14, 21, and 42. That's it. Go for 28. 1 times 28 is, it takes long, this lesson. 28. And then this is even number. 2 times 2 can fit into 2 by 1 and 4. What about 3? When you add them together, it's gonna be 10. So not 10. I mean not 3 divisible. It's not divisible by 3. 6, 9. Okay. What about 7? Oh yeah, 7 times 4. Okay. Also 4 was it. Okay. So 4 was okay. You can switch it, but anyway, it's fine. 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, and 28. Okay. Can an odd number have an even factor? Can an odd number, so odd multiplied by any number, can have, no, sorry. Opposite. So any even number multiply unknown number can be odd? No, can't be. Even number multiplied by any number has to be even number. Okay, so odd number can't be a factor of even number. Okay, so let's say odd can be the factor of even number. Use a diagram to explain why you do not have to check whether any numbers greater than 4 are factors of 12. Okay, any greater number than 4. Okay, this 12 is not divisible by 5. That means what? 6? It's repeating again. So, because, you know, the factor pairs will repeat. There's no point to do it over again, okay? So, okay. Now, let's go to the last page. There are 4 classes going on a field trip. The classes will use 3 buses. Can the teachers have an equal number of students on each bus? What do you know? That's what you need to think. Okay, now what do you need to find? How will you solve? Okay, this is what we have been practicing. Okay, step 1, add to find how many students are going on a field trip. So when you add them all together, 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 0, what is it? Tell me. Mental math. Yes, this is 7, right? And then 12. So carry 1 up and put down just 2. Okay, now 1 plus 2 plus 2, which is 5, and 4, 9. So 92. So 92 students are going on a field trip. Now step 2. Is the total number of students divisible by the number of buses? Okay, we'll see. Only they are gonna use only what? 3 number. Okay, 3 buses, which is what? 92. When you add them together, it's gonna be 11. This sum of these 2 digits is divisible by 3? No. So, oh, that's what they say. Sorry. Is a total number. Okay, so 9 plus 2 is what? 11, which is what? Is not divisible by 3. So the teachers can't have an equal number of students on each bus. It has to be different, okay? Next, a teacher is making a 5-page test with 28 vocabulary problems and 7 reading problems. Can the teacher put an equal number of problems on each page? So now, teacher is making 5-page test, okay? And the problems are gonna be how many? 28 plus 7, which is 35 problems are gonna be there. Can the teacher put an equal number of problems on each page, you think? Yes, because it ends with 5. So the answer is what? Yes, that's it. Right? It's divisible by 5. Alright, a relay race is 39 laps long. Each team member must bike the same number of laps. Could a team have 8, 6, or 3 members? Explain. Okay, so 3 plus 9 is what? 12. This is divisible by what? 3. What about 6? No, since this number is what? Not even number. So only 3 is reasonable. What about 8 then? This 39 is not a multiple of 8. Okay? So only 3 members. Okay? Yeah, explain? How you explain? Yeah, because 6 and 8 are not divisible by 39. I mean, 39 is not divisible by what? 6 or 8. I'm sorry, I'm getting sleepy, I think. My tongue is not working properly. Okay, so again. All right, number 19. You have 63 clay figures to display on 7 shelves. Okay, 63. Not all of the shelves need to be used, and each shelf can hold no more than 25 figures. Each shelf must have the same number of figures. What are all the ways you could arrange the figures? Okay, interesting. So 1 times, let's find out the factors of, okay, the possibilities of the arranging, okay? Okay, so we are going to display different ways. 63 is what? 63. But this is more than 25, so we can use this one. What about 2? Can't be. When you add them together, it's going to be 9, which means what? This is divisible by 3 and 9. Okay, so 3 times what? 3 can fit into 6 by 2 and by 1 for 3. Oh, 63. And what about 4? No, it can't. 5? No. 6? No. This is odd number. Okay, and 7? Yeah, 7 times 9, okay, is what? 63. We know multiples of 7, okay? So far, this 2 found, okay? What about 8? Can't be. 9 is repeating, so you know what? We found what? 3 and 21, or 7 and 9. That's it. Okay, 2 options they can use. All right, this is simple information, but you know what? It's like it takes a long time to find out all the factor pairs, right? Today, so it took longer than usual, but you know, always we can practice, right? And your homework is yes, 271 and 272. I will see you next class. Bye-bye.